Hey, what's up guys, Jirachiefs, and we are back here today with week 8 of the APA. This match is going to be going up a little bit late, and that's because the guy I was supposed to be facing for this week, Deathly I Am, ended up leaving the league, and due to just real life commitments taking priority, and he ended up being replaced by Jolt, who is he's an old friend of mine, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Jolt is, if not all of you. For those who may not, Jolt was the commissioner of the NPL for a number of seasons now. He's a very experienced draft format player. He's one of my personal favorites to watch. Honestly, like I just got a lot of respect for Jolt as a player. I think he's a very solid builder, and his thought process is always there when it comes to building and playing. And he's a very adept player, very skillful player, and yeah, this is going to be fun to face him in Little Cup. I think he hasn't played Little Cup for a number of generations now, but he's picked up a Sun team, and yeah, he's got some threats. He did make some changes to the team, but for this week's game, he is going to be using the team that Deathly drafted. So that consists of Sun, as you can see. He's got Vulpix, which is actually banned in Little Cup because Drought, like instant Sun plus chlorophyll abusers, is just really broken in the tiers. So it's kind of cool to see it allowed here in the format. But yeah, of course Vulpix and Bellsprout form that really nice Sun core, and then he's got other weather abusers such as Helioptile, and Houndour can even abuse the Sun quite nicely. So yeah, he's got a lot of power, and he's got hazard support with Venipede that he's brought here. He had a couple of threats that he didn't bring, but these mainly were the ones that I think he would, that I thought he would bring. So that's always good to see. But as you can see, this is the team we're rocking with this week. We do have Smoochin. This is actually a Sash set this week, so this can really capitalize on his team's lack of solid hazard setters. So he does have potential to bring Stealth Rocks in Baltoy and Spike stacking with a Venipede, but those two really struggle to set up hazards consistently versus my team, particularly Baltoy. He really can't set up Stealth Rocks all that reliably, and I do have Defog on Volibee in case I do want to remove that. So yeah, Smoochin can either function as a solid lead, a solid like anti-hazard lead, being able to check both Venipede and Baltoy quite nicely with its dual stabs, but it can also function as a late game win condition if I do preserve its Sash by removing hazards with Volibee if he ever does get them up. On the flip side of that, Rocks are amazing versus his team, so if I can get up Rocks with Bronzor, that is going to punish a lot of his fire types, and yeah, his Bellsprout as well, because that thing is going to get shipped every time it comes in. Venipede obviously taking the 25% from it too, so that's going to be Smoochin. Then we have a fat Eviolite. Well, it's pretty offensive, but it's an Eviolite Leo, which does take some of the pressure off the rest of my team to take hits from stuff like the Vulpix and the Houndour, just being able to resist the fire stab under the Sun, and yeah, abusing his own Sun on my Litleo. I am a Flame Charge set, so I will be able to punish his team at +1, and I am Moxie, so I get that nice Moxie boost. So then we have Life Orb Meowth here, which is just fantastic like safety net versus his Sun. So if I'm ever in a situation where I lose my defensive responses to his I keep wanting to say Weeping Bell, it's Bellsprout, I'll always have that dual priority in the back. And I am of course packing Knockoff because he does have the Yamask, which is kind of mandatory here in my opinion. Otherwise he just loses to Meowth. He kind of just gets 6-0'd by Meowth. I can just play the sack game and bring that thing in and press Fake Out into Feint and pretty much claim the kill each time. So I felt like he would bring like a fully defensive Violet Yamask, and that's more than likely what he has got here. Then I've got my Bronzor, just a pretty solid heat-proof Berry Juice set with Rocks. Nothing too crazy about this set. Then I've got a fat Spidef Eviolite Volibee, mainly here to check his Sun Sweepers as well as defogging hazards if need be. And lastly, I do have a Trick Room Spritzy, which can really put in work here. I am Berry Juice, so I can chew a hit under Sun from quite a few of his mons, but because I'm not a Violet, I don't live hits nearly as well as I should with the Violet. But having that Berry Juice recovery could be pretty clutch versus something like Life Orb Houndour outside of the Sun, or just like Eviolite Vulpix in the Sun. Stuff like Helioptile with a Life Orb cannot OHKO me, and I just get my Berry Juice back and get up a Trick Room on them. Really solid late game win con if I can get a Trick Room up once things are sufficiently weakened, or I do have my Rocks up. So that is going to be the team breakdown. Going into a bit of depth here, but we're going to jump right into the game now. So Before I jump into it, I do want to thank Phantombass for joining my team, and I want to thank Panther for recording the game for me. So shout out to those guys, and you're going to see I am being trained by trainer Jolt, as he is going to lead off with his Venipede as I lead off here with my Smoochum. Now, like, the Venipede lead, kind of, like, it's pretty obviously Sash, and he more than likely does have Protect to kind of provide him some safety versus the Meowth. But I am going to fake out here just to see. Like, I lost nothing by it. If he was Pin Missile, then, which he could well be, that would be able to kill my Smoochum through my Sash. And going for fake out at least breaks his Sash if he did want to go for that play turn 1. But he does Protect, and I'm not about to risk the Pin Missile here, especially when my Bronzor can kind of capitalize on this Venipede and get rocks up of my own, because if he does want to trade hazards here and he wants to set up all layers, I always have Volibee in the back to come in, not be affected by the spikes, and just defog those away later. So at least getting up my rocks here forces something to take damage after this Venipede goes down. So right here I am going to go for the Earthquake after I click Stealth Rock. I click Stealth Rock here. He's obviously faster than me with a speed boost, and Venipede's a pretty cool mon in Little Cup in my opinion. I think definitely a solid hazard setter, and it does have access to Endeavor, which is going to kind of impact on the way I play around it. He's going to set up his third layer here, as I am going to go for Earthquake. I go for Earthquake because I want to break the Sash. I don't want to bring him down to a really low range of health with the Psychic, which could allow him to Endeavor me the following turn. And I'll put my Berry Juice. I want to keep my Berry Juice intact if possible, so I can come in versus something like Bellsprout, because this thing is an amazing response to it. With Heat Proof, I pretty much checked that thing perfectly. So he's going to reveal Double Edge, which kind of, like, the reason Jolt's running Double Edge is because if he's brought down to his Sash, he can click Double Edge and essentially, like, knock himself out versus my only hazard removal in the form of Volibee. So yeah, really smart tech here. It allows him to keep up his spikes, but that's if that situation were to arise. So I can only assume that's why he's running Double Edge. It may just be his hardest way of hitting a certain one on my team, like Spritzy, but actually he's going to have Poison Jab for that. So yeah, he's going to drop here. I assume that's Jolt's reasoning for running Double Edge, but now he is going to bring in the Vulpix, and this thing is a threat. This thing is a threat, and whilst I would love to switch in like something like Volibee into this mon, with Spikes up, it's not a switch in, and neither is my Spritzy. So if Spikes weren't up, I could always go into Spritzy this turn, but really preserving Spritzy for the later game is probably more important than keeping my Bronzor around. So even though I will lose Bronzor here to the Inferno Overdrive, this is a trade I'm willing to make. It reveals that he's not Life Orb, and he's not a Violite on this Vulpix, which is going to make him much easier to take down with Meowth, and subsequent hits from this Vulpix are going to be doing far less to my team than if he were a Life Orb set. So that's some good information right there, but Bronzor gets blown away, as I am going to go out to my Volibee here, and I do want to defog. And whilst this probably does suggest that I am a Sash mon, because rocks are great versus this team, like why would I be defogging? I am going to defog, and this probably tells, like, Jolt is a very smart player. I know for a fact that this told him that I had a Sashmon in the back, and based on the way I play Smoochum through this game, that kind of does confirm that to him. So I'm going to go for defog here, and that Fire Blast does a lot, revealing that he's like, yeah, he's offensive and he's in the sun, so that is going to do a huge amount of damage. But right here I'm going to pivot into my Litleo. With the spikes off the field, my Litleo is able to take this Fire Blast relatively well, and I will be able to threaten this Vulpix. If he does want to stay in, I can just click return. But I actually choose the Flame Charge. I choose the Flame Charge because his Bellsprout could still outspeed my Litleo at neutral speed and knock me out with a Life Orb Sludge Bomb if he does have it. But he actually goes into his Houndour, which is pretty interesting. He's going to go for the Sludge Bomb here and win the speed tie. We both are max speed this turn, as my return is going to bring him down below half, and he's actually going to reveal the Berry Juice. So this is a bulkier Houndoom, because that return to an offensive Houndoom would have done like a lot more than that. So it's a really interesting Houndoom. He is going to go for the Fire Blast here, and we're going to live on 2. So Eviolite, Litleo coming through, he's going to win the second speed tie, and my Litleo is going to put him at a range where if I can just win this speed tie here, we will be able to take him out. But unfortunately, he wins 3 in a row there. The only one that really mattered was that last speed tie, as the other 2 really didn't impact the game. But unfortunate nevertheless, but it's a speed tie, so these things happen. So I'm going to go into my Spritzy here, as he is going to Sludge Bomb. This is going to proc my berry juice because he's going to bring me below half, but he actually crits me here, and he gets the poison, which the crit means that I won't get back to full with my berry juice, which I otherwise would have. And obviously the poison is going to put my Spritzy on a timer, so we're not getting any strokes of good luck in this game so far. But obviously Spritzy on a Trick Room is a real menace to his team, so I could have potentially Calm Minded here. I am Calm Mind on the Spritzy, which is the kind of thought process behind this is that I can always Trick Room up on something like Mantike, and on a switch in to something like Mantike or Houndour, get a Calm Mind up that will allow me to take a hit better, and then just kind of sweep his team from there. But he's going to reveal Protect, and he's going to try and go for 2 Protects, which was really his best play. It's gonna you know, burn through an extra turn of Trick Room, and it's gonna get more Poison Chip off on my Spritzy. But Houndour is down, which is really solid for my team because that thing is a threat, as he's now going to bring in his Bellsprout, and I'm thinking, well, he's already revealed Z, so this could potentially be Life Orb. It could even be a Violite, which is a bit of an odd choice, but he actually reveals to be Sash, and this is interesting because he doesn't have solid hazard removal of his own. He doesn't have any, actually, on the team that he brought, but I suppose Sash Bellsprout was like a kind of a way of taking advantage of me if I ever did get a chance to defog. So yeah, really cool bring there, as he is going to cut my Spritzy sweep short with the Sash, as I'm just going to go for the Feint. I think I fake out this turn with Meowth, as he does bring in his Yamask here. So he's going to preserve his Bellsprout, potentially as sack fodder, or even just like a late game win con if he does intend on getting Sun back up with the Vulpix. As I don't want my Meowth to get burnt here. I am going to go into my Volibee, which can roost up on this Yamask, which is really the way I want to play this, as he is going to knock off, and that's going to remove my Violite, which is pretty unfortunate, which means I won't be able to take hits from Vulpix nearly as well, or stuff like his Helioptile, as this turn I am going to roost up, and he is going to actually bring in his Helioptile. So he's going to reveal Air Balloon, which Jolt told me after the match this was brought in an attempt to kind of counter my Wooper, which is really cool because Wooper, like a conventional dual stab Wooper, would be like actually countered by this mon, so that's pretty cool, as I would have nowhere to break its balloon, and therefore wouldn't be able to hit with my ground stab, and he's dry skin, so he would be able to be immune to my dual stab there. But I am going to go for knockoff, and then he's going to pop his balloon, as he does get the paralysis on the T-Bolt. So I was sacking Volibee there anyway, but it's just kind of funny, as he is going to go into his Vulpix this turn. Now this is interesting, right? So I'm gonna hear Jolt's side of the match. I'm kind of curious to hear about this because, like, his Vulpix would have died to a hit from Meowth, like 2 hits from Meowth anyway. But me getting this knockoff damage means that even if he protects, I only need to get 1 hit off, and that's going to come into play. That would come into play if Jolt expected me to predict his Protect and go for Feint. I'll discuss that later, but this knockoff damage pretty much allows me to avoid that mind game with Meowth later on, as you're going to see. So that is some really nice damage off on this Vulpix, as he's actually going to go for Flame Charge, which is really cool. So he's Flame Charge, Protect, and then like I presume like Z Fire Blast or something like that. So really cool set on this Vulpix. But Volibee has done some great work. It's put everything in range of Meowth essentially, as I will just be able to go for Feint this turn, as he does go for his Protect. So even if he did attack here, Feint had a great chance of knocking him out at this range of health. But we do catch him there, expecting to fake out, and honestly, like, I don't blame him for making that play. I think, like, he kind of had to. Honestly, like, fake out would have guaranteed O-code, and I think Feint did too from that range of health. It did like 42 min or something like that. So this turn I am going to go for the knockoff, as Yamask is going to be brought down quite low because I am actually adamant Meowth here. So that knockoff is going to do a huge amount, and he's actually going to knock off my Life Orb, which isn't going to do it a huge amount to me, but it's gonna leave me like at a decent amount of health. But obviously I'm a bit weaker now, but I still will be able to take him out with a knockoff, which is going to be great because Meowth is kind of looking like it can wrap up this game. He's got the Helioptile and he's got the Bellsprout, both of which are slower than my Meowth, and even if they did somehow have a speed boost, I have the option of just switching out and like clicking Fake Out into Feint. But I do outspeed this Helioptile. He revealed to be Air Balloon earlier, and yeah, Meowth is going to wrap this game up. His Bellsprout isn't in Sun, so even if it was, I had Feint. So yeah, Meowth really putting the team on its back this game. I know Jolt was concerned about Meowth going into the match, but the fact that I was able to keep Meowth till the end game and not throw it away earlier in the match meant that it just really saved the day in the late game. After both Spritzy and Volibee going down relatively early. So yeah, definitely an exciting game. I thought Jolt played really well and he brought a really great team. So definitely go and check out his side of the match. I'm sure you guys are all subbed to Jolt, but if you're not, make sure you go and check out his content. He's part of a joint channel with Styx and some other guys on the Token Minorities, and they make some really good draft league format videos and content. They run the biggest draft tournament in the community, so definitely recommend you check them out. And that's going to be it. My week 9 versus Panther should be going up. We're playing tomorrow, so as I'm recording this now, we're playing tomorrow. That one should be going up soon, so you should be getting like a couple of videos over the next couple of days. So hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did, and let me know what you thought of the match in the comments, and I'll catch you guys then.